Welcome students to Six Sigma Green Belt lesson number 20. If you look at the table of contents, we're still talking about Six Sigma goals, and under that we are covering organizational drivers. And today's topic will be about process level metrics, measurement systems considerations, and project selection process. So we'll discuss these three topics in detail, and this slide is attached as a reference material for you to review. This slide is also attached as a reference material for you to review as needed. So we'll talk about these two slides in detail, including those three topics. So moving on to we'll talk about process level metrics. For these, the data comes from mainly production people, and some kind of measurement system or a data collection system you may have on your equipment. So it could come from the production people or the equipment used. What happens is the data from above is used to run day-to-day activities, and it's used by supervisors, employees, managers, etc. So it's used to run day-to-day activities. That's the main goal. Also, this data is highly used in the measure, analyze, improve, and control phases of your the Six Sigma project once it's defined. So this data is highly used in the measure, analyze, improve, control phases once the project is selected and defined. Now we'll talk about measurement, system considerations. There's a gentleman by the name of Brown. What he recommends is the following for process performance metrics. And these are a lot of points to consider, so we'll talk about those. So please pay close attention to these. Number 1 or A is when you have the vital few versus trivial many. So what that means is any organization may have more than thousands of metrics, but to be successful, we should focus on the critical few. This is the key to success. Rule of the thumb is any business or business level metrics, business level metrics should be less than 20 and no more. That's the rule of the thumb. Number 2, B, is talking about past, present, and future. So for these, we should focus on these metrics. What past it tells us is it tells us how you performed and based on that you can make decisions accordingly. To build organization, wisdom, this past data is necessary. So number 2, he talks about past, present, and future, and we need to focus on these metrics. And the past one, what that means is it tells us how we performed, and then any different kind of decisions we need to make in order to improve ourselves. And what that does is it builds organization wisdom in the long run. So moving on to present, it gives real-time data for you to observe. Future, you can make predictions or forecast based on past, present metrics, and strategize accordingly. C, we want to link metrics in a way that it makes sense. It's all about common sense. So we may want to link metrics in such a way that they make sense. And in regards to this, we should meet requirements of the following. One is shareholders, customers, and most importantly also the employees and your associates. D, we should have multiple metrics and not just one. To be successful, any business needs to have a balance. And not just focus on quality, shareholders, etc. So balance is important when you're having metrics put in place. E, in this one you want to link metrics on business level to shareholders. F, in this one you want to link metrics on operations level to customer needs. G, link metrics on process level to employee needs. H, for all levels of organization, have consistent metrics. To be successful. So if you got multiple metrics you may want to combine them. For high level, high or macro level, and when you combine them, that means it could be aggregate. So keep that in mind. J, metrics should evolve as strategy. And then, once you have this, situations evolve. K, all the metrics should have target and goals. So these are number of things recommended by Brown when you consider working on your process performance metrics. So these are critical and you may want to consider this. So next topic is project selection process. And when you are selecting a project, consider the following. It's going to help you a lot. Consider the following. Your metrics, the projects should have a broad appeal to team members, co-workers, and management. The other one is keep your projects simple. But not trivial. The duration, the time frame, keep it about, your projects should be able to be completed in 3 to 4 months time frame. And your projects or project should be within control. For example, don't try to go solve world hunger when you know you cannot do it, but instead focus on solving the hunger in your company or in your department. So make sure your projects are within control. Before you start, check time and resources constraints. This is critical, and this should be done before. Try to communicate what's going on to the managers, to the team leaders, to the supervisors, so they can give you the resources that you need and the time you need. So check that in advance. So that's an important one. The other one is project resolution and learning teamwork. These two should be major activities. So it's the key to success. When you work in a team environment, you got different personalities and different thoughts in place, and then at the same time you're trying to focus on resolving the issue. So these two activities should be of a major consideration. On this one, we'll talk about project statement / problem. So when you are selecting a project or a problem, make sure the project statement and the problem should be very clear and very well defined. It cannot be fuzzy. Examples for fuzzy are so the examples for the fuzzy projects are, let's say we're saying the problem is we have poor communication. That's too fuzzy. Second one is we're saying we have low recovery rate. Another one is somebody is saying we have excessive downtime. Or if you have lack of training, too much scrap, and this is very common. So these are fuzzy projects or problems. And these are not recommended. Shouldn't do that. Your problems, we'll talk about these in detail, and there's another section in the due course. There's another section that will talk in detail about project selection, problem defining, etc. So the other one is your problem location should be defined. And how can you do that? Example is construct a process map or a flow chart of your process and see how the information flows, and then identify from that flow chart the problem location. It's a good visual tool that everybody can understand and make better decisions on. So, what is a problem? How do you define it? What do we mean by it? So it's a gap between what is, and that's your current state, and what should it look like, or what should be. And that's your future state. So that's what a problem is. It's a gap between your current state and your future state. So when you focus on project selection or problem, you also need to look at your current results and desired results. Your problem statement it should be defined clearly, should be measurable, this is key. It should also include target timetable or a timeline. The other one is the team should focus on a problem what is or that is scheduled for resolution. So make sure the team is focused on the problem that it's scheduled for a solution. The other thing is we will discuss project selection and definition in detail in future or upcoming topics. So this was just kind of a guide, an introduction to make you understand all that is required to have a successful Six Sigma project. This is it for today. We'll continue with lesson 21 next time. Thanks for your participation. Have a wonderful day.